Ladies and gentlemen, the mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It can either shape your reality or trap you in a world of limitations. Each thought you entertain has the potential to propel you forward or drag you down. Right now, there is nothing more important than understanding the immense power you hold within your own mind. You are the master of your thoughts, and it's time to take control. The first step in overcoming negative thoughts is recognizing them. These thoughts, often disguised as doubts, fears, or insecurities, are your mind's way of sabotaging you. They are like weeds in a garden, slowly choking the life out of the flowers you are trying to grow. But here's the truth. Negative thoughts do not define who you are, nor do they have any power over you unless you give them that power. Now, this is where the magic happens. You have the ability to change your internal dialogue. Every negative thought that arises can be replaced with a positive, empowering one. It may not happen overnight, but with practice, you can reprogram your mind to focus on the positive. Replace "I can't" with "I can." "I am not good enough" with "I am more than enough," and "I will fail" with "I will succeed." This simple shift can change your entire outlook on life. Emotional barriers often accompany negative thoughts. These barriers are built over time, often from past experiences, disappointments, or fears of the unknown. But you are stronger than any past emotion that tries to hold you back. Do not let your past define your future. Build emotional resilience by focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. You are not a prisoner of your emotions unless you choose to be. The path to success is never easy, but it is always worth it. Persistence is the key. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who refuse to quit in the face of adversity. Every successful individual has faced setbacks, doubts, and challenges. What separates them from the rest is their refusal to let those obstacles define them. They press forward, no matter the difficulty, because they understand that every step, no matter how small, takes them closer to their goal. Visualization is one of the most powerful tools in overcoming negative thoughts and emotional barriers. See it in your mind's eye before it happens in reality. Visualize your success. Feel the emotions of accomplishment, and let that vision pull you forward. When you consistently visualize your success, your body will take the necessary actions to turn that vision into reality. But it's not enough to simply think about success or feel it. You must discipline your thoughts and actions to ensure that you remain focused on the end goal. The mind without discipline is like a ship without a rudder. It will drift aimlessly. You must master your thoughts, direct them toward your desired outcome, and refuse to let distractions or negative emotions derail you. Discipline is the bridge between your current reality and the life you envision. Finally, remember this. Action is everything. Thoughts and emotions are powerful, but without action, they mean nothing. The most successful people in the world are the ones who turn their thoughts into actions. They do not sit idly by waiting for things to happen. They make things happen. Every single day, take action toward your goals, no matter how small the step may seem. It is the consistent, determined action that leads to success. In conclusion, remember this. You are not defined by your negative thoughts or emotional barriers. You have the power to overcome them. Take control of your mind, change your internal dialogue, build emotional resilience. Persist in the face of challenges, visualize your success, practice discipline, and take consistent action. The world is yours to conquer, and nothing, no one, and no thought will stop you from achieving greatness. Now, go out and show the world what you are made of. The mind is a force unlike any other. It is the birthplace of everything you will ever achieve or ever fail to achieve. It is the silent architect of your reality, shaping your life based on what you believe, think, and feel. From the moment you wake up to the second your head hits the pillow, your mind is at work, creating possibilities or barriers. It is your greatest ally, or it can become your worst enemy, depending on how you choose to wield it. The first step to overcoming negative thoughts and emotional barriers is realizing this simple but profound truth. Your mind holds the key to everything. It is not circumstances, not people, not luck. It is the power of your own mind that determines your fate. Too often we let our minds run on autopilot. letting negative thoughts slip by unchecked, and allowing fear, doubt, and uncertainty to take root. But here's the truth. Negative thoughts are not facts. They are just thoughts, fleeting, unimportant, and easily changeable. The moment you accept that your thoughts do not define you, you gain the power to change them. The ability to shape your reality lies in your ability to control the thoughts that occupy your mind. If you do not learn to master your mind will master you. The choice is yours. Every single thought you have sends a signal to your body, shaping your emotions, actions, and ultimately your results. If you focus on fear and doubt, your body responds with stress, tension, and paralysis. But if you focus on positivity, possibility, and faith in yourself, your body responds with energy, confidence, and action. In this way, your mind has the power to either propel you forward or keep you stuck in a cycle of limitation. The mind, like a muscle, can be trained. It can be conditioned to think positively, to see opportunity, and to believe in your own potential. The first step is to understand that you are the one in control. It's time to stop living your life by default. So many people go through life reacting to their circumstances rather than creating their circumstances. They let negative thoughts dictate their decisions and let emotional barriers dictate their actions. They allow fear, worry, and self-doubt to guide them instead of tapping into the infinite well of power within them. But you are not like most people. You are different. You understand that your thoughts are your tools, tools that can build or destroy, create or tear down. You are the one who decides what thoughts to entertain and which to reject. You have the ability to rewrite your story, to change your mental script from one of limitation to one of possibility. The power of the mind is not just a concept. It's a tangible, measurable force that can be harnessed for success. Think about the great achievers in history. What made them stand out? It wasn't their circumstances, it wasn't their upbringing, it wasn't luck. What separated them from the crowd was their belief in themselves, their unwavering conviction that they could achieve their goals, regardless of the obstacles in their way. They understood that the mind is where all success begins. The mind is the starting point of every great achievement. They knew that if they could master their thoughts, they could master their lives. When you understand the power of your mind, you begin to see the opportunities that others miss. You start to notice the countless possibilities around you that were once hidden by the fog of doubt and fear. Your perspective shifts. You no longer see failure as a dead end, but as a lesson, a stepping stone to greater success. You start to see challenges as opportunities to grow, rather than threats to your happiness. The power of the mind is the power to change your perception of the world, and in doing so, change your reality. But just knowing that you have power over your mind isn't enough. You must act on it. Every time a negative thought arises, you must consciously choose to replace it with a positive one. Every time fear tries to take hold, you must remind yourself that fear is just an illusion. Every time self-doubt creeps in, you must choose to trust in your ability to succeed. This requires effort, persistence, and unwavering commitment to your goals. It requires you to break free from the old patterns of thinking that have held you back for so long. The most important part of understanding the power of the mind is realizing that you have a choice. You don't have to accept the negative thoughts that arise in your head. You don't have to accept the emotional barriers that limit your potential. You are the one who decides what you focus on. The mind is a garden, and you are the gardener. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and negativity, those are the thoughts that will grow. But if you plant seeds of belief, possibility, and hope, those are the thoughts that will flourish. The choice is yours, and with that choice comes the power to create the life you desire. In every moment, you are planting the seeds for your future. Your thoughts today are shaping your tomorrow. So ask yourself, what kind of future do you want to create? If you want a future of success, abundance, and happiness, then it starts with the thoughts you choose to think today. If you want to overcome the negative thoughts and emotional barriers that have held you back, it begins with taking responsibility for your mind. You must take full ownership of your thoughts and actions, knowing that your mind will work for you or against you, depending on how you use it. To truly master your mind, you must believe in the power of your own thoughts. You must trust that your mind is capable of achieving greatness. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything you will accomplish. The more you cultivate positive thoughts, the more you will see the world around you change. And as you continue to master your mind, you will begin to notice the emotional barriers that once seemed so strong begin to crumble before your eyes. When you control your mind, you control your destiny. Negative thoughts are silent assassins, lurking in the background, waiting to rob you of your potential. They creep into your mind when you least expect it, distorting your reality and clouding your judgment. These thoughts have the power to cripple your progress if left unchecked. And yet, most people go through life unaware of how often they let negativity control their actions. The first step to overcoming any challenge in life is identifying the enemy within. Those negative thoughts that pull you away from your goals, your dreams, and your success. If you can learn to recognize these thoughts, you take away their power. You are no longer at the mercy of your own mind. You become the master of it. Many people spend their entire lives unwittingly feeding their minds with negativity. It could be the self-doubt that whispers you're not good enough, or the inner critic that constantly says you'll never succeed. These thoughts may feel natural, but they are not facts. They are simply patterns that you have allowed to take root in your mind over time. What's worse is that they often go unnoticed. You think they're just a part of who you are, but they're not. They are thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. Identifying negative thoughts is the first step in breaking free from the cycle of self-sabotage. You must become aware of how often negativity infiltrates your thinking and understand that you have the power to change it. These negative thoughts can be sneaky. They often start as small doubts or concerns, but if left unchecked, they snowball into bigger barriers. What if I fail? Becomes I can't do this. Maybe I'm not cut out for this becomes I'll never be successful. Before you know it, a simple thought of uncertainty has transformed into an unshakable belief that limits your actions. It's critical to spot these thoughts the moment they arise. The longer you let them sit in your mind, the more deeply ingrained they become. You can't fight an enemy you don't see coming, and so you must train yourself to recognize negative thinking patterns before they take hold. The truth is, negativity is often rooted in fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These fears are natural. They are wired into us as part of our survival instinct. But they can also be incredibly destructive if they control your thinking. Fear masquerades as logic. It tricks you into believing that playing it safe is the best option, even though deep down you know that playing it safe will only keep you stuck. Fear tells you that taking risks will lead to disaster, that making a mistake is a reflection of your worth. But the reality is, mistakes are simply opportunities to learn and grow. The more you allow these negative thoughts to guide your decisions, the further away you get from your true potential. To identify negative thoughts, you must begin by paying attention to your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself on a daily basis? What do you believe about yourself, your abilities, and your future? Are you speaking to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and confidence? Or are you tearing yourself down with words of doubt, insecurity, and criticism? The first step is to listen carefully to your thoughts. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that our internal dialogue is just a reflection of reality, but in truth, it is just a collection of our beliefs, fears, and past experiences. If you are constantly telling yourself that you can't achieve your goals, that you don't deserve success, or that you're not capable, those thoughts will become your reality. They will shape your actions, your decisions, and your outcomes. Negative thoughts can also be reinforced by the people around you. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, or criticism, it's easy to adopt the same mindset. People's opinions of you can seep into your consciousness and become your own beliefs. When others tell you that you won't make it, or that your dreams are unrealistic, it's easy to internalize those words and let them guide your actions. But you must remember that other people's opinions are not facts. Their negativity is a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. Do not allow their doubts to become your reality. You are the one who decides what you believe about yourself. One of the most destructive forms of negative thinking is what I call catastrophizing, a tendency to imagine the worst possible outcome in any given situation. When you catastrophize, you automatically assume that any setback or challenge will lead to failure. and that failure will somehow define you. This type of thinking paralyzes you, making you afraid to take any action for fear of making a mistake. It's important to recognize this pattern and challenge it. Instead of imagining the worst, imagine the best. What if this challenge leads to your greatest success? What if overcoming this obstacle propels you forward in ways you never imagined? Negative thoughts don't just come in the form of doubt or fear. They can also show up as limiting beliefs about what is possible. These thoughts often sound like, "I'm too old for this. I don't have enough experience, or I don't have the resources I need." These beliefs limit your potential by convincing you that you are not capable of achieving your goals. But the truth is, you are only as limited as you allow yourself to be. If you believe you are too old, too inexperienced, or too underqualified to succeed, you will never take the necessary steps to achieve your goals. You must break free from these limiting beliefs and remind yourself that success is not determined by your age, experience, or resources. It is determined by your mindset and your willingness to take action. To truly overcome negative thoughts, you must first become aware of them. You must recognize when they arise and understand that they are not permanent. They are simply thoughts, passing clouds in the sky of your mind. The moment you identify a negative thought, you have the power to change it. You can replace it with a positive, empowering thought. You can choose to believe in your ability to succeed, even in the face of adversity. The key is to remain vigilant. Pay attention to your thoughts, and when negativity tries to take root, replace it with something positive. The more you do this, the more you will train your mind to focus on the possibilities instead of the limitations. Negative thoughts may arise, but they do not have to control you. You are the one who decides which thoughts to entertain. By identifying these thoughts, challenging them, and replacing them with positive alternatives, you can break free from the mental chains that have held you back for far too long. The power to change your life lies within your ability to change your thoughts. Your internal dialogue is the single most powerful force shaping your reality. It's the conversation you have with yourself every day, whether you realize it or not. Every thought you think, every word you speak to yourself, creates your perception of the world and ultimately dictates your actions. If you want to change your life, you must first change the way you speak to yourself. Your internal dialogue is the foundation on which everything else is built. You cannot expect to achieve greatness if you constantly tell yourself that you are unworthy or incapable. It all starts within your mind, with the words you choose to say to yourself. We often don't realize how damaging our internal dialogue can be. We would never speak to others the way we speak to ourselves. Imagine telling your friend, "You'll never succeed, you're not good enough, you'll fail." You would never say that to anyone you care about, yet many of us say these things to ourselves every single day. The way you talk to yourself shapes your self-image, your confidence, and your beliefs about what's possible. When you feed yourself negative self-talk, you are feeding your mind with poison that undermines your success. If you want to overcome negative thoughts and emotional barriers, you must start by changing the way you talk to yourself. The first step in changing your internal dialogue is becoming aware of it. Take a moment to listen to your thoughts. Pay attention to the language you use when you think about yourself, your goals, and your future. Are you using empowering language that encourages and motivates you, or are you using language that undermines your confidence and limits your potential? The words we use are incredibly powerful. They carry energy. Positive words inspire action, while negative words drain our energy and prevent us from moving forward. If your inner dialogue is filled with negativity, it's no wonder that you're feeling stuck, defeated, or unsure of your abilities. Negative words reinforce negative beliefs, which hold you back from achieving anything meaningful. To change your internal dialogue, you need to replace the negative self-talk with positive, empowering statements. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," stop immediately and replace it with, "I am capable of overcoming any challenge." When you think, "I'm not good enough," replace it with, "I am more than enough." If you think, "I'll never succeed," remind yourself, success is inevitable for those who persist. The more you replace the negative thoughts with positive affirmations, the more you'll begin to shift your mindset. It's not enough to simply think positive thoughts. You must speak them aloud, write them down, and believe in them with every fiber of your being. One of the most effective ways to change your internal dialogue is through the use of affirmations. Affirmations are simple positive statements that reprogram your subconscious mind. They are designed to challenge and replace the limiting beliefs and negative self-talk that have been holding you back. Start each day by repeating powerful affirmations that align with your goals. Say them with conviction, as if they are already true. I am strong, I am capable, I am worthy of success. These affirmations help to rewire your brain and create new thought patterns. Over time, the more you affirm your greatness, the more your mind will begin to believe it. As your belief in yourself grows, so will your confidence and so will your ability to take decisive action toward your goals. Changing your internal dialogue isn't a one-time event. It is a continual process. Negative thoughts will arise, but instead of allowing them to define you, you must replace them with positive, empowering thoughts. It takes time and consistent effort to reprogram your mind, but it is absolutely worth it. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. As you begin to change the way you talk to yourself, you will notice a shift in your energy, your actions, and your results. You'll feel more confident, more motivated, and more capable of tackling whatever challenges come your way. The moment you start believing in your potential is the moment you start unlocking it. The language you use when speaking to yourself also affects how you approach obstacles. If your inner dialogue is filled with defeatist language, you will approach challenges with hesitation and fear. You will shy away from taking risks because deep down you don't believe you're capable of overcoming them. But when your internal dialogue is filled with empowering words, you begin to view obstacles as opportunities for growth. Instead of saying, "This is too hard," you will say, "I am capable of handling this. I can figure it out." Your inner dialogue becomes a source of strength, propelling you forward in the face of adversity. This shift in internal dialogue also plays a crucial role in building resilience. Life is full of challenges, but how you respond to those challenges determines your success. If you constantly tell yourself that you can't handle tough situations, you'll be less likely to persevere when things get difficult.